So, guys, if we had a band, what do you think our band name would be?
Potato Mullet.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Words Are Hard podcast. My name is Mike. You know the rest. Fuck it. Let's get into it.
Just do it.
That's
just
right.
do it.
I wanted to talk today about concerts. Have you gone to any concerts in your lifetime? Any shows?
I've gone to 2.
Okay.
One was mediocre. The other one was probably one of the best times of my life.
I don't know either of those bands.
Yeah.
First concert I ever went to was actually at the
That's a
Playhouse
great
here in
band
town.
name.
So if you want to count that, you can. If not, well, whatever.
Why wouldn't you count it? Just
Yeah,
because it's a local venue doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, what was it?
It was April Wine.
I am so ashamed to be your friend right now.
But they're a Canadian band.
I
right?
don't
Like,
care.
They started.
Okay.
They're not Limp Bizkit.
They started in your hometown.
What?
There you go.
April Wine. Miles Goodwin was from Woodstock, New Brunswick. Fun fact.
Woo! So,
So yeah, it was a great
saw
time.
April Wine.
Saw April Wine. It was a great time.
Was that the mediocre one or the good one?
That's kind of a mediocre one, to be honest.
Okay.
They Miles
What do you
Goodwin.
expect? It's April Wine.
Miles Goodwin flicked
Whoa.
a guitar pick off the stage at the end of it, and it bounced off of my dad's foot, and I pushed over the lady next to me
Yeah.
because it bounced over off his foot, over my feet, and then onto hers. I pushed her over, grabbed it, and then I got Miles Goodwin to sign it.
It's like the movie Good Burger, but he's like, I tackled an old woman. Yeah,
Yeah.
High five. You thought it's gonna high five you, didn't you?
So that was kind
I
of
did.
cool.
I'm kind of disappointed that you didn't.
I high fived myself for a bit and left Greg hanging.
Yeah, that's terrible. I'm so sad.
So
now I'm
April
not
Wine
falling
and,
for that
and
again.
who else? What was the other one?
The other one was it was actually it was in Moncton. It was the Sam Roberts Band. KT Tunstall, if I'm pronouncing that right, I'm probably not. I don't know. She was kind of big in 2008.
Katie Lang.
No, CCR, or technically
The CCR.
John Fogerty.
Yeah.
Specifically.
He was in
Revival?
Woodstock, and I saw him in Woodstock when he was there.
And who I was there to see was the Eagles. I mean, it was.
I realized I just said CCR Revival.
Yeah.
The
CCR
Creedence
Revival.
Clearwater Revival.
Yeah. It's revival.
You can't even say.
I can't. Words right now.
Like
Words are hard.
Everyone performed amazingly. They couldn't get John Fogerty off the stage. Like they had to actually push him off. Like, no, you have to leave now.
They put out like the big cane, the big hook.
Yeah.
Like take
It
him
was
off.
pretty bad.
What about you, Greg? Have you been to any concerts?
Not a lot of big ones. The last one
No
that
Limp Bizkit.
I wish I had. I really do.
Oh,
They've never been close enough for me to warrant going, because I'm not the type that I would take off and go to like Montreal for a show. The closest or the farthest I would go would be like Moncton or St. John, something like that.
So you're within a few hours.
So one concert that I am ashamed to admit that I went to.
Yeah. On a side note, I want to see Fred Durst ask himself questions live.
I'd like to see that.
Like a motherfucking chainsaw. What?
A chainsaw.
Huh?
A motherfucking chainsaw.
He's like, hold on, did I see that? What?
Yeah.
Go on.
So my cousin wanted to go see the Rihanna concert when she was in St. John a few years back. He had no way to get there because he didn't have his own vehicle.
Yeah, I know.
So he bought 2 tickets and begged me to take him to the concert and gave me the ticket just to drive him there.
You went to go see
So
Rihanna.
Greg's concert story is that he went to go see fucking Rihanna?
But strangely enough, it wasn't that bad because one of the opening acts was Cardinal Official. And he's not bad.
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
He's a Canadian rapper.
Yeah, is he the one from Halifax?
No, I think he's from Toronto.
Who's from Halifax? There's a
You're
rapper.
thinking Classified.
Classified. There you go.
Oh man, I have had the chance to see Classified and I didn't go, and I wish I had. I love Classified.
Pretty cool. With now, wait, were there others?
There were, but I can't remember. I I didn't want to go in the first place because I'm not a big fan of Rihanna, but then it didn't turn out so bad because he was there, and that kind of saved it for me. So that's what stands out in my mind from that night was his performance.
For the Eagles concert, I guess it was, again, one of the most memorable nights of my life. Aside from the fact that there was, the Sam Roberts band, which is pretty good on their own right, and John Fogerty, who's kind of a legend, of sorts. And my favorite band growing up, the Eagles. This was an all-day event. It had rained the night before. It was raining halfway through the concert, so we're standing there in mud. The people, it was the first, not really the first time, but my parents kind of fucked off and did their own thing, right? So they're elsewhere at the concert venue. They're leaving a 15-year-old to
enjoy. So at this point, you can say that you saw the Eagles. You saw a puddle of mud open for the Eagles.
Something like that. So we're standing in mud. I lost a shoe at one point.
Yeah.
Found it 5 minutes after I lost it because I was third row from the front of the stage. Staying in this mud pit, and the guy next to me was smoking 6 or 7 joints throughout the whole thing. He's blowing the smoke
at the same time.
He
had them all lined
Lined
up.
it up.
And he's like, "Hey kid, check this out."
Throughout the whole thing, he smoked 6 or 7 joints
over the course. Okay.
And he's blowing the smoke in my face, and okay, I'm hungry. I'm
he
gonna
was
go back.
blowing smoke in his face.
So,
how old are you again?
15.
Yeah, so he's grabbing your cheeks.
So you had a contact high, is what you're saying?
I had the best contact high ever while watching the Eagles. There was this other couple next to me that was just recently married, and they're watching after me. There's this jackass behind me who pushed me forward and I fell in the mud, and the man that was in the couple next to me, the man got right pissed, and he shoved the guy back. He's like, "You better fuck off!" I'm this is. I had protection, man. I had protection at this concert. There was this mudslide that they had made in the middle of the rain. So there's just people that are just there's videos on YouTube. You can check out Eagles concert 2008. And
I'm sure there was more than one Eagles concert in 2008, though.
Moncton 2008. Don't make me get specific. So there's just these mudslides. My Taekwondo instructor was at the very bottom of the slide, and apparently this one woman just came barreling down and lost her top, and she stood up and ran into him, and he caught her like this.
Okay.
And
it's the martial arts reflexes.
The martial arts reflexes.
They come in handy.
Of course, she got all pissed.
Handy.
Understandably so. Handy. That's terrible funny. But yeah, no, it was just a really good time. That everyone put on an amazing show, and it was just overall a fun time.
I'm disappointed now that I mentioned the Rihanna concert, not the best one that I went to.
What's up?
A few years back in PEI, went to the big concert that they have every summer. So there was Headley, Buck Cherry, Theory of a Dead Man.
Fucking Rihanna. Are you kidding me?
Headley actually puts on a pretty good show.
Yeah, Headley's great.
My mother and my sister have gone to 5 or 6 concerts.
The big one that I wanted to see that weekend, Finger 11 was there.
Isn't that illegal?
I'm just... I don't know.
All right, so I'm a big music snob. Who did you see in concert?
I'm not saying I'm a music snob.
No.
I wouldn't go to the concert.
The fact that you make fun of Limp Bizkit makes you a music snob.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So you've seen Cancer Bats 12 times, right?
12 times. No, I mean
They suck.
I mean before I had to start
kidding.
paying to go to their shows, I was watching them in a bingo hall across the river. Right, and they'd show up in a van. I don't know if I went up there and grabbed some of my concert tickets, we'd be here all night going through them.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people would think that being a huge heavy metal fan, that when I went to go see Testament, Megadeth, and Slayer in Moncton, and a lot of people would probably say, "Oh, that was probably the best concert." But no, I drove to Montreal for my buddy on his 16th birthday. 17th birthday, and we went to Montreal to go see Mastodon, and that was probably one of the most incredible concerts and experiences of my life. Just being from a small town and then going to a big city in the first place.
Of course, yeah.
I've experienced that a few times, but this was just going there to see one of your favorite bands of all time
Makes a big difference.
Yeah, and Mastodon just being so incredibly talented. And when they hit the stage, they played. At the time, they had it was for their Crack the Sky album tour, so that would have been their 4th studio album.
Okay.
And they played all of Crack the Sky, all of the album before that, Blood Mountain. I mean, we're talking about a progressive rock band. So
it just keeps going.
Yeah,
right?
so these aren't like by any means short songs.
It's like a 6-hour set, right? Like,
but then, so they played that whole album. They played their whole previous album, which was like a commercial success. So like that was a really big deal. And then their first 2 albums, 2 of my favorites, they played half of each of those as well. So I mean, it was insane just watching these people, and we had Fodderway front center. So I mean, I was like, I had marks like because I was pressed up against the bars, like just feet away from like these amazing players. But we had I didn't expect to like the opening bands. There's one called Intronaut, which was just so incredibly talented. When you see somebody when you're starting off as a bass player, as a musician, and this guy sitting there with like a 6-string bass, just like
all over the
just
place,
flying around with it. Anyway, the first opening band, Kylesa, they had 2 drummers with huge full drum kits, and they drummed in sync the whole fucking time.
Jeez,
right?
that's talent.
Absolutely incredible. And you would think, and you think to like the opening ceremonies for the Olympics or something like that, where they have like the traditional drummers and stuff. No, these guys are behind giant kits playing heavy metal music, like totally in sync.
Wow.
But as far as drummers are concerned, the drummer for April Wine, Jerry, I can't remember his last name.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird last name.
One of the greatest drummers.
Jerry last name.
One of the greatest drummers in the world. Like he's played for, like his resume of bands that he's played for is endless.
Name one.
I don't know it. I barely remember his. I can't even.
Oh, but it's
remember his
endless.
last name.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he. Like, while the rest of the guys were out back, getting ready for the next half of the set, he's out there just pounding away. And he even had, like, these... It was, like, the most bizarre thing, and I wasn't expecting it. It was, like, these whistles. Like, literally just 2 whistles that he had in his mouth. He's like, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
That's funny.
It's just, I mean, but no, I guess...
Yeah.
He's... I think at the time he was, like, 68. And he's just pounding away on these drums, and it's... the most amazing thing, right?
It's interesting to watch. I mean, there were some really funny moments too. Mastodon being a huge stoner metal band, there was like, I remember turning around at one point, and it was my first big concert I had ever been to, aside from my bingo hall concerts and stuff.
Yeah.
And they weren't my first big name that I got to go see either. I got to see Michael Graves, the lead singer from the Misfits. When he came to town, I got a signed poster over there behind the camera. But that was pretty sweet. But he was literally just in like a music studio on the north side.
Jeez.
But anyway, so at one point I turned around just to sort of take it all in. We're in the Opera House over in Montreal, and I turned around just to look at this massive crowd, and I see like mosh pits, like 3 separate like little mosh pits going on, and I look over and all I see is one guy. I mean, I was stopped at the door, who was like they were like, how old are you? I was like 18. I was 16 at the time. They're like, where's your ID? And I was like, I don't have it on me. And he's like, well then you can't drink. And I was like, I wasn't planning on it. And then they just let me in, and I was like, wow, that's some pretty tight security. Anyway, as I'm looking at this crowd, this guy comes marching in, and he's a 4-foot hookah, like a glass hookah over his head, and he's marching through the crowd like this with this giant hookah, and he stops at this group of people who just immediately just form a circle. And he just plants it right there. And probably about an hour later, during one of the lull of one of the songs, you hear this loud smash, and somebody's like, "Fuck!" It was pretty sweet.
The dust, eh?
Yeah. But I mean, who brings like
no? The question's not
who
brings
lets
it.
them bring.
That's not even the question. How the fuck do you get that in the venue?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask where do you get one because you want one.
He obviously knew the guys, or he was like with the band or something. But I mean, like, you have a 4-foot piece of like blown glass and hoses.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to put this in the middle of a bunch of drunk, like moshing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, glass and a mosh pit don't mix.
Yeah, well, that too. That shit's pretty. I don't know. But probably the crazy experience of everything was the Slayer concert, as a lot of people would probably guess. But so again, always front center for these things. I just like to sit there and just take it all in.
Of course, yeah.
When I used to go to these smaller shows, I used to be that kid who's just like, yeah, let's get in the mosh pit, let's move around and like get wild, but and headbanging because I used to have hair, long hair. But anyway, Slayer concert, I was like front center, watching Megadeth play. Testament, I'm not a huge fan. But anyway, Slayer hit the stage, and I'm up there with my buddy who passed out actually next to me. He was so, like, water was like $10 a bottle. I had no food. We traveled to Moncton. We were staying at my buddy's camp for the night. I left the house with a loaf of bread that I turned into a loaf of sandwiches. I was broke at the time. We were living in our first apartment.
Okay, sure.
Above the crack neighbor. And I had a 2-liter bottle of water, and I put that in his trunk. And that was, for the next 2 days, that was my rations. Yeah, I had a Slayer shirt that I had purchased from somebody who made counterfeit merchandise. Anyway, so I'm front center with him, and he's looking really tired, really sweaty, leather jacket the whole time.
Sure.
Halfway through Slayer set, I look over, and all of a sudden, I just see him go limp. And I grabbed him, and the security walks over, and I remember lifting him up, just passing him to the security guy. They start to walk away, and I'm just like, all right.
Back into it,
I was like, this is Slayer. I'm sorry. Anyway, so towards the end of their set, I was like, there's no way they're still playing. I'm so tired. I'm so thirsty. And I was like, I can't fight off these people anymore, front center for the world's biggest thrash metal band.
Sure.
So I'm like, I need to walk away. So I start to walk away, and I'm walking through a crowd of people, and then I walk into a large opening, which was the mosh pit. But what I didn't clue in is they're not moving. And what I realized was that they just started playing one of their biggest songs, Angel of Death. And I was just like, holy shit, I'm about to be in the middle of a Slayer mosh pit for Angel of Death. And I was like, I couldn't be happier in this moment. And out of nowhere, people just start fucking hitting me and just descended on me. And then that ended, and I was like, all right, that was my limit. I'm about to pass out. They're about to do one more song, and I need to walk away. And then they start playing my favorite song, Rain and Blood, and I was just like, all right, one more. It's like in this, and I cut to me in the bathroom. Like, I don't care how dirty it was, and I'm sitting there like drinking water out of the tap, and I'm just like, I know that somebody pissed in this sink, but I feel like shit. Yeah, it was crazy. And then after
sounds like fun.
All of that craziness, went out and ate one of my sandwiches. We go back to my buddy's parents' camp at Grand Lake. I drank half a bottle of Jaeger and passed out on his deck. And that was probably the greatest night of my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have.
Yeah, I can't top that.
I don't know. I wouldn't. It's not a matter of like trying to top things. You know what I mean? It's just like that moment was created out of desperation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the band thing was amazing. The rest of the story was kind of like, at the time I was like, these are hard times. And then like looking back, I'm like, no, those were just times. You know what I mean? Like
happened, yeah.
That was just life. And now like I don't. I say that I don't go to concerts and I'm not the kid in the mosh pit and I'm not going crazy and stuff. Cancer Bats came back to town, saw the opening bands, and I was standing up front off to the side, just watching the musicianship and listening to the music. And I'm like, this is great. This is good times. I'm glad I chose to just be here. Then the Cancer Bats hit the stage and I was just like, oh, fuck yeah. And I just immediately jump into the mess and just run with it because I'm just like, I can't help it. And one of my favorite bands of all time. I never miss a show.
That's really
yeah.
And weren't you telling me about something that you don't like know them personally, but like you've gotten to like.
Oh no.
Like
We used to hang out with them all the time. When they used to come to town, they'd have to stay before they released even their first album. They'd come and. I remember I bought one of their T-shirts and I asked their singer Liam to sign it. And he's like, yeah, sure. And it's all black and it had like a white logo on it. And he signs like this bat wing on it. And I was just like, thanks, man. And then I went over to their drummer, Mike, and I said, hey, Mike, do you mind signing this shirt for me? And he looks at the shirt and he looks at me and he goes, it's fucking black. And I was like, well, Liam signed it. And he signed it all pissy and pissed off. And I always try to remind him of that. But I mean, yeah, like I don't know, but no. We used to know them on a pretty good first name basis.
Yeah.
I remember when they came to town and all of my favorite bingo hall bands showed up. It started off with like Roses Dead, and then Cancer Bats, I Hate Sally, and then Protest the Hero.
What did Sally ever do to them?
I Hate Sally is an amazing band. Their lead singer, her name's Dee. They're long finished, but she's like 4 foot nothing, probably 90 pounds soaking wet. Anyway, and some of the hardest vocals I've ever heard. So after Roses Dead and the Cancer Bats played, I'm of course tired. We're out in the parking lot. We're talking to Cancer Bats. I Hate Sally's playing, and I would never want to miss one of their shows, but I was so tired. And all of a sudden, my buddy just bursts out of the door, and he goes, Mike! And I was like, what? And he's like, Dee just climbed up onto like 8 tables and whipped a garbage can at somebody. Everybody's going nuts! And I was like, I need to go in and see this. And yeah, when she starts performing, she wrecks the place.
I don't have those connections with those bands, and this is just fascinating. Like this is awesome.
That's great. That band was incredible. But there's a few, and like the great part about when the Cancer Bats come is there's a band like Sight for Sewn Eyes in Halifax. They don't tour and do shit anymore, and then the Cancer Bats show up and they call them. They're like, be here, and they're like, all right. And then our buddies from Sussex and Rusted Dawn. I remember going to like some of the basement shows that they play and stuff, and Cancer Bats are always like, gotta come open for us. And I remember when Rusted Dawn broke up, Cancer Bats show up, they've made it, so they invite some of the bigger bands around here. Iron Giant from Moncton came down. You would love them.
Would I?
Oh yeah. And they opened. And then the Cancer Bats played and let Rusted Dawn headline the show because it was their final show.
Sure.
And everybody went fucking nuts. These guys were crazy. I don't know. It's all flooding back.
The memories.
Yeah, the memories.
The memories.
The only thing I even have close to like having a connection of any sort to a band is a country band. I don't listen to country, very often, unless I'm absolutely plastered and someone hands me a guitar and I'm copying the chords that they're playing. Like, okay, well, I got this. Is Tristan Horncastle. He's relatively local. He's from near my hometown. His guitarist, his lead guitarist, is a buddy of mine. Grew up with him, worked with him.
He's pretty big. He's got a bus with his face on it.
Yeah.
You're big when.
Yeah. When you're big on the
side of a bus.
He's actually pretty good. And Matt, Matt Mazerall is his guitarist. One of the greatest guitarists I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He when we were still in high school, he entered a contest for Rock with Doc Walker, another big country artist. He was going to be coming to the Playhouse here in Fredericton. Matt won the. It might have been in St. John, but Matt won. So you had to submit a video submission of you playing one of their songs, and then of course he was showing off in the video clip I think too. So that kind of caught their attention. So he played the concert he was supposed to, and then they were playing another show fairly close by, and they're like, Matt, we want you to show up. We want you to be here. He's like, fucking right. He goes, he plays, and he's on stage with them. Playing their songs, and it was great. And I think he's had a callback, added on Facebook and everything, right? That type of thing, like his personal Facebook account.
Yeah.
And now, I think him and Tristan have signed, I think another record deal, so he's going places.
That's sick, man. I don't know. Cool. Lessons learned.
I don't have nearly the experience with music as you do.
Lessons learned. Mike is music.
Yes. He bleeds music.
He bleeds music.
Yeah, I don't know. Lessons learned. Just bleed in general. and if Greg was the member of a band, April Wine, the wine would be spelled much differently. Hey guys, thanks for watching that episode of the Words Are Hard podcast. If you'd love to go to a Rihanna concert with Greg, why don't you leave it down in the comments below, and we'll see if we can make that happen. We probably won't make that happen. You can follow us on social media. The links are in the description. We've got Twitter, we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram. We've got a link for our shirt store. You can go pick up some shirts. You can wear some sweet shirts with Greg's face on it. If you button your shirt up just right, his face pokes out. It's kind of cute. If you want to watch our previous episode, you can click between Alex and Greg right over here. If you want to subscribe to our channel, you can click between Greg and I right over here. Thanks for watching.